Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. Hello world, my name is Boluwatiwi, Boluwatiwi. For safety reasons, please kindly call me Tiwi so you don't have to visit a dentist after pronouncing my name. Thank you for sticking with the show. This is Behind the Beat, that show where we get to show you, some of the things that are happening behind the scenes in the gospel music industry, where we get to showcase the people that I call the architects of the gospel music industry. These people are the people that are making things work out. They're the ones behind the scenes making things work out. And today promises to be another wonderful episode. But before I go further, I'd like to say a big thank you to the production crew, the makeup crew, to everybody who is behind this camera. I'm looking at the camera, but the camera is not just standing there all by itself. There are people behind the camera. I want to say thank you so much. I'd also like to say that you guys are doing an amazing job. Don't rest now. Hey, you understand? Please keep doing the work. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you to everybody who has been watching us. I can't stop saying thank you to you guys. Every now and then is by default. I just have to say thank you. I just have to say thank you. Thank you. Just like we say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much for being part of us. To my people in Ghana, Akwaba. To my people in Nigeria, Adehelo. In the UK, in America, in Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Iraq, Iran, Somalia, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, in the Solomon Islands, in Russia, in China, in India, everybody, thank you so much. Please don't forget to follow Divine TV on all platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and like all our videos. Now we go straight into the show. So my guest today is somebody who I respect so much. This man is a very gentleman. I don't know why on season 2 of Behind the Beat we're having more of gentlemen. They are very gentle, and indeed they are very gentle. It's not like they are gentle and they are not gentle. They're actually very gentle. He's one of the pioneers, when it comes to the movement that we're seeing today in the gospel music industry. This man is someone that I respect so much. Quite a lot of his works. I'll talk about an artist that happened to be in the MTN Project Fame some time ago, and we got talking about his producer when I was working on a song for him, and not until I realized that this was a producer, after a while and all of those. How in the gospel music industry it's just like a circle. Everybody knows everybody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows everybody. You understand that kind of thing? So I'll just go straight to the show and introduce my guest. Today, my guest is one of Africa's finest music producers, mix and mastering engineers. He's been in the scene for a long time. He's experienced and he's a hard worker. This man churns out content like every now and then. I get to see his jobs, his works, his productions like every now and then. He's none other person than Nigeria's finest, Africa's finest, Rocky T. Hey, Baba. This man looks so young now, bro. So, bros. Let me say bros. Thank you so much for coming around.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and only myself, Rocky T, and the people behind the camera know that something is happening. Rocky T was actually supposed to be on the first episode, the first season of Behind the Beat, but something happened, and now is on the second season. Thank you so much. We called you, just within a short period of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You understand? Hey, Baba. So I think I'll just go straight into our discussion. How do you think? I don't want to bore you with questions like how did you start up in the industry, the journey so far and all of that. But I know quite well that at some point in your journey you were opportune to work closely with Cobhams. Yeah, could you please share that experience, share that side of your story?
Me meeting Cobhams was something I've been dreaming of a long time ago. Like, it's been something that I've wanted to, I've longed for it. And so working with him, I think is just something amazing for me, because I get to learn about so many things. Not just about your physical ability, more about your intellectual.
Yeah.
So, it was so amazing for me to meet him, and then so it broadens my knowledge about whom Cobham is, and a lot of things you can learn. And it's not just about you just staying on the spot. Meeting him make me realize that there are so many things you can do outside music that that you can be fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly. Cobhams is somebody whom we respect so much in the industry. He's one of the strongest people in this industry. You understand? When he's an icon. That's just the name. All right, so now I think we should just do the viewers a little of your background. We've talked about you working with covers. I just didn't want us to go the normal route. How did you start music and all of that? But I'll ask, how many years have you been in the industry, in the scene?
Um, Professionally, I would say 11 years.
Jesus, that's a long time from now. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Did I say a long time from now? That's way back, like way back. Don't mind me, I'm too futuristic. 11 years in the industry, that's over a decade. These are senior people. I'm not even up to 11 years, you understand? So these are senior men in those. So in the journey of 11 years, what was your greatest challenge? Being somebody who majored in the gospel music production, somebody who did who always wanted to do something for the church, for God, wanted to build worship, wanted to be a pioneer, want to be an architect of worship. What was your greatest challenge?
I think my greatest challenge started when I started producing. So, and it was more of, not being able to get to, the A-list artists, so to say.
Yeah.
So because there are lots of things that are surrounding those circumstances, you can do this thing, but getting to them,
Sometimes
it's
you can
just,
even do it better than the person who is there.
of course,
Yeah.
so we have it there and then, but the gap is just so wide that you can't just get to them. So it was a major concern starting, but as time goes on, the Bible says the gift of the man will make way for him. So when the time goes on, they start looking for you.
Exactly.
Because there's been consistency. You keep doing
Exactly.
the same thing, and you keep doing what you know how to do,
Exactly.
and you're doing it very, very well. So,
Yeah.
and that is what it is, and that is where we are today.
Wow, I want to say that one thing that I've picked from what you just said right now is the word consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
Over the period of more than a decade, you've been very consistent at what you do. You are not today. We're not seeing you going into acting, and the next day we're seeing that okay, this man is now selling. He's now selling computers. I'm not saying that one cannot venture into other kinds of business, but you have to be consistent with whatever you are doing. Even if you are skilled and you're not consistent, people would most likely not patronize you. Staying afloat. Now, I will ask you this question. What has been your major secret to staying at the top? Because you've been around for a very long time and you're still very much relevant in the industry. What has been that thing that you have been, I know you've talked about consistency, but could there be some other things that you've been doing that has helped you stay at the top? Maybe a routine that you have been taking. Do you wake up in the morning and pray, my father 7 times? Do you do 10 press up 7 times? Do you visit 7 mountains every month or every 7 days? Or what's that secret?
Secrets? Do I want to call it a secret? It's not a secret, because if it is a secret, I don't want to expose it.
Exactly.
But it's not secret anyway.
Yeah.
To me, I would say number one, you keep learning every day. You keep learning every day. You don't stop learning.
Yeah.
So that is number one. You make research.
Yeah.
Find time to make research. That is number one. Number two, those researches, take it into practice. That's number two. Then number three, work harder.
Work harder.
Harder. You keep working. You keep working. And then number four, you pray for grace. Because the Bible says, except the Lord build the house, the workman labored in vain. So all these things, all the researches, the everything you're doing, if you don't ask for grace, if you're not praying for grace, there is no way it's going to work. So at the end of the day, you just ask for grace for everything you've been doing.
This is Behind the Beats, and my name is BOLUWATIWI Boluwatiwi. For safety reasons, I always say that you call me Tiwi, so you don't have to visit a dentist after pronouncing my name. Now, let's go back to Rocky T. We actually have our own excesses. How do you think we can cut these excesses so that we'll not also lose our audience, who are people that are not from this generation? Because I feel like we should also reach out to people of this generation and of that generation. So how do we cover excesses?
The answer is very simple. Looking unto Jesus,
the author and the finisher of our faith.
That's all. Any other thing outside Jesus
does not make sense.
doesn't make sense.
Wow. Any other thing outside Jesus does not make sense. I repeat, any other thing outside Jesus does not make. I'm saying it with my full chest. I'm saying it with my full, and this is going out to somebody out there. You're listening to us and you don't even know Jesus yet. I think it's high time that you just take time, and just sit back and think about him. Think about Jesus. Everybody needs Jesus. We need Jesus in our lives. He's the gateway to access the Father. He's the one through which you can access good life. He's the way, the truth, and the life. So the way, that's the only way. Jesus is the only way. Is the only way. I say with my full chest. Thank you very much. I just did work of evangelism. Well, big shout out to everybody watching us right now. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Right now, I'll be going straight to Rocky T's top 5 songs. As top 5 playlist, and we'll go straight to the number 5 song on the playlist. Number 5.
My number 5, Fragrance.
First it was fragrance, then it turned to fire. My worship is my weapon. This is
how my body.
This is our win. Big shout out to Dunsi Oyekan, one of the pioneers, one of the pillars and this industry, in this ministry. This man has been someone who has been consistent all through the years.
Of course,
way back from when he used to be music director at Koza. And one thing I liked about him is that I like to see a music director play other kinds of instruments. His major instrument then used to be the bass guitar. You've seen a music director on the bass guitar as giving you chords, unlike the normal thing that we see, everybody just sits on the piano and do the. Big shout out to Dunsi Oyekan, Fragrance by Dunsi Oyekan. Your number 4 song?
My number 4 song is Wonderful Love by Sisioma.
Wonderful Love by... Did you produce that song?
No.
Okay, Wonderful Love by Sisioma is another artist that has been very consistent over the years. There are only a few people in that circle as females, who are gospel ministers, and she happens to be one of such people who have been consistent over the years. Her sound is quite unique.
Sure.
Wonderful Love by Sisioma. Big shout out to you, sister. Big shout out. So we'll go straight to your number 3 song.
Yeah, my number 3 music is Oromado by Jokes. Yeah, Oromado is Niger Delta language.
Oh, absolutely, because I was wondering, like, Oromado. Is it Yoruba?
The great God, greatest God.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, by Jokes. Yeah,
wow.
Jokes,
wow.
which I produced.
Wow.
Yeah.
And any song Rocky T produces. Let me say something now. Now I have a confession. So one of the things that I like about your production that I must really confess is the clarity in your production, especially the ones that you mix and master yourself. For those of us who do mix and mastering, you know that when you have so much percussion, especially the African sound, when you have so much percussions, you have to do the talking drum front, talking drum back, you have to do omele front and back, you have to do left and right. God will now catch you. You now have an artist who wants to do the full percussion orchestra. You bring omele bata, omele gangan, iya lu, omo lu, auntie lu, boda lu.
And that could be very, very handy when it comes to mixing.
I'm telling you.
Separating the frequency.
Oh Jesus, I did a project like that for Bayo Bankole featuring BJ Sax, and the major thing for me, because I had like 30 tracks of percussions.
Wow.
Thank God to Presony Studio One. Big shout out to Presony Studio One for and big shout out to Femi Okunuga that introduced me to that wonderful software. So one thing that I like so much about your job is the clarity. Even in the ones that I know that you just rush, like you go shout here and say, no, this one's I can tell that you just mix this song in 10 minutes. And you're going to say, this one, I don't mix this kind of things. You don't take. You understand? Wow, big shout out, bro. So let's go to your number 2 song.
Yes, my number 2 song is Oreofe by Olawale Onabanjo.
Aha! Big shout out!
Shout out to Sister
Big shout out to
Olawale.
big sister, Sister Lawale. You should see this video. You know, I think some weeks ago, she had me on her show
Oh,
on the
wow.
TV, and you know,
Yeah,
big
of
shout
course.
out.
Big shout out to her wherever she is.
Yeah, wherever you are, big shout out. Olawale Onabajo is another person whom she's very energetic.
I
Energy,
see
poor.
that energy is just what
It's
has
top
been
notch.
man.
Like
I mean, her energy is just out of this world.
out of this
she
world.
can just call me, hey, I'm
Out-
coming
I'm
now.
coming now,
Or
now.
probably I'm just driving by and I said, I need to come to the studio. Sister, easy now.
Easy, take it easy on me.
So big shout out to her. She's
Big-
very hard. She's one of, let me say, she's probably the most hardworking artist I've been working with.
Wow,
this
amazing.
Man, she's amazing.
Amazing.
Shout out to
Yeah.
her wherever she is.
Yeah, big shout out, sister.
So
Big shout out,
Oriofe.
Oriofe.
Yeah.
By Olawale Onabajo. How about your number one song? What song is taking that spot?
Yes, number one is Ire. Very Milano. Ekwe mi ire. Ewa mi dele. Ekwe mi ire. Ire by another big sister.
Yeah.
Yetunde Obanla.
Yeah, you produced that track too.
Yes, featuring Omotola Jayola, Mr. Gbira.
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Gbira, of course.
I think that there's a video to that song
Yes,
already.
yes, of course,
yeah,
of
I
course,
saw
of
I
course,
saw the
of course.
video.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
the video sometime. You know,
Yeah.
those two people, another set of energy. Especially Mr. Gbira himself. Just by the name you can tell Mr. Gbira. Big shout out, bro. Big shout out, and big shout out to big sis Yetunde Obanla. Big shout out to you. Ire, beautiful song, amazing song. I would like to ask, when should we be expecting your song? Your own song.
Okay, you just put me on the spot.
Yes, we should expect something from you soon. Drop something for the boys now. Let boys be listening to something.
Okay. Here is it. Like, okay, fine. I've been conceiving this idea, but
Yeah,
I've not really mentioned it to anyone. So I think
Okay.
you just pushed it out.
exactly.
So I think I'll be doing an EP with some of artists I've worked with.
Yeah, please. I'm available for backup singing. I'm available for backup singing. I can sing bass. I can sing baritone. I can sing contratenor, tenor. In fact, I can sing descant.
Wow.
Wow, amazing. When a music producer, mix and mastering engineer, comes out to tell you that he's working on a project, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I can tell you, because music producers and mix and mastering engineers, we are people who put so much attention into the composition. The addition of one note to a chord can really turn you off and say, no, this chord is not sound. I remember working with Bayo Bankole, bro Bayo Bankole some time ago, and we're working on a very simple song. I needed to play something. I was not getting that. I played something that was very nice. I ended up not producing that song because I just was not feeling what I was playing. I felt like I needed something. There was something. Chords.
Something was missing.
Something was missing, and I could not.
Tiny small thing.
I could not figure it out, and I just, hey, bros, I think you just give it out. I feel like I'm not doing justice to this song. You understand? And that's something that every producer should also learn. You cannot do everything, and you must not do everything. You understand? There are some things I know how to do. Send your clients. I'm not expensive. Just 500K. You understand? Wow. So from your number 5 song to your number 1 song, we can see that you listen wide, and I would like to ask that I think you have about 2 or 3 songs that have percussive sounds. Why do you so much like a percussive sound? I've heard some of the jobs that you did that are not percussive. I remember the other time we were talking on WhatsApp, you sent me a long list of songs, and I was like, really? Oh, Jesus. But I feel like there's this thing with you and percussive sound.
Yes, that's true. The reason is because as a young boy in the church, we started with percussion instruments.
Exactly.
So it's something that we've been used to when we're very, very young.
Yeah.
So it's been part of us. So if at this stage now we come across works that has to do with percussion,
you just knock on,
so
like
definitely,
something that's been in the blood.
It's been in the blood. So definitely we have to just, let the craft be there that, we were percussionists when we were
Exactly. I remember when I was in school, way back, and we used to play. I used to play for Night Fest, and we had this. Agbamole,
Yeah,
myself
Akuba,
and
Akuba,
Akuba, man,
yeah,
myself and big shout out to Demola Olabinjo. Demola is now married, nice. Then we used to be very young boys, and we're the two guys who, if I'm not playing, Demola is playing. If he's not playing, I'm the one playing. And it used to be very interesting, growing into those kind of setting, the rural rugged thing, and all of that. Now, wow, amazing. Amazing. So this is the point where I get to ask you the question, and this is the point where I don't like you to get my answer. So I'm going to ask you a very different question. I'm going to take it out of music entirely, so I'm not going to ask you music-related questions.
This is a session I didn't like.
I'm not going to ask you a music-related question. So, what should I ask you? What should I ask you?
Ask me simple questions.
Simple question. Simple question. Simple question. What should I ask you? What should I ask you? What should I ask you? Okay, I just ask you a question, and I don't want to see my mind. Should I say what's in my mind? I feel like asking you something very technical, like into the mixing and mastering world. Asking you, but let's not go. Do you really want us to go there?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so this one is going to be a bonus for you guys, so that we all can learn from Rocky T. So I'm going to ask you this question, and this is not a question that you will fail anyway. So tell us, Rocky T, when you are mixing, when you're doing your mixing, which do you do first, compression or subtractive EQ? Which do you do first as a mix and mastering engineer?
First is the subtractive EQ.
Subtractive EQ.
First.
Yeah.
Because it takes a whole lot of things I don't even want to even get into the compression.
Exactly.
It takes that away.
Exactly.
So for me, EQ, subtractive EQ first.
It's like the cubic, because quite a number of people you go online, this person is saying this is what I do, this person say, but I feel like everybody should just do what works best
for you. Yeah.
For you understand. I've tried working on some songs that I did subtractive EQ first, and it worked out. Some person's voices, especially for vocals, some persons, because these days we use more of samples, and some of the VST tones that comes are already, they're already ready-made. Like you don't really have to do much, and you just do your gain staking and all of that. And you work on some person's voices, and subtractive EQ before compression works fine. Some persons you have to compress before you do the EQ, and
it depends on what works for you.
Exactly, what works for you and what is more important at that time. So I made it very simple, Avi.
Yeah. Yeah, but aside that, let me say, like you rightly said, there are different things that works for some people. What works for this person might not work for you.
Might not work, exactly.
You understand? So like you rightly said, big shout out to Pastor Wale Adesonya. Uncle Walls.
Yeah, Mr. Walls.
Mr. Walls, yeah.
Bro.
Mr. Walls, of course. Now, he's one person that I know that immediately it takes the vocal, it mixed immediately.
Wow.
It mixed immediately as he's taking the vocal.
Wow.
He's mixing.
Wow.
But some of us, like personally, I take the vocals, I take everything, and then come back probably
later,
the following day or 2 days to now start the mixing. So what might work for this person might not work for
the other person.
So, yeah, exactly.
The most important thing is the end goal. I feel some of my friends, and I see their workflow, and I'm like, all of these plugins, what's happening here? But the truth is, the output is amazing. Of course, even if this person is using like 5, 6, 7, 8, no, 5 is still understandable. Because if you use EQ, compressor, reverb, delay,
can we even say stock plugins are even?
Exactly, overrated.
Overrated.
No, like okay. External plugins are overrated. Stock plugins are like the go-to. I hardly use external plugins. You understand?
Same with me.
Stock plugins.
Same with me, and I think I learned that from Cobams. That's one of the things I learned from Cobams.
Exactly.
Cobams has, on his PC, he has lots of, but by the time his mix engineer would do justice to his mixes, Light on Dada. Great shout out to Light on Dada.
Yeah, big shout out.
So by the time he's gonna do it, you just see this normal.
Just simple things.
Delay, EQ. What's happening?
If you know it, you know it. You don't know it, you don't know it.
You don't really need to crack your PC, to have the best plugins. I have plugins.
Some of us even have folders of plugins that we have never used in the past 5 years.
I've never.
We have never even installed them on our phones in the past 5 years. Wow, amazing. So, lastly, I would like to ask if you had to give a music production tip or a singing songwriting tip, which would you rather give?
I think I would want to go for music
Production.
production.
Now, so what would that one advice be to up and coming, music producers who are looking up to you as this person, who are looking up to you as a person? What would the advice be?
The advice is this. Number one, study your craft and know it well.
Study your craft and know it well.
Know it very well. Number two, note that you have different artists coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, so you must study their patterns.
Wow, that's a big one. That's a huge one.
Study their patterns.
Yeah.
Because this artist is different from this artist.
This artist, exactly.
So of course, so they have different music and genres of music they will be doing.
And different approaches.
And different approaches.
Yeah, one of the things that I do for some of the artists I work for is that I tell them to send me their previous songs, previous recordings, spending the time that we start recording. So sometimes I listen to that. It gives me a background into, it gives me an insight into the kind of artist. Sometimes I even stay with them. Sometimes I can even ask them to do me a voice note of a popular song, like sing this song.
Good.
And I hear you. I'm like, okay. So it gives me so much information about you. Wow. Big shout out to everybody watching us right now. Big shout out to Rocky T. Thank you so much for coming on the show. God bless you so much. Whenever you're around people like this, you always learn something. I won't share with you what I've learned today. I'll keep it. But one thing I know that you can do is that you can share this video with everybody around you. Doesn't necessarily have to be a music producer. Might just be someone out there who is a music enthusiast. Might just be a singer, songwriter. There's always something to learn from the show. You understand me? Thank you so much to everybody who has stuck with us. Thank you so much, Rocky T, for coming around. Rocky T is one man that I know that if we call him again, he will still come back again. I know this man, and I know it's only God that can repay you right now. It's only God that can repay you. Thank you so much for being a part of the brand. Thank you for being part of us behind the beats to the world. Big shout out to my producer, Mr. Kwemi Babalola. Big shout out to Mr. Ben. Hey, see, I'm looking at the camera. The person behind this camera I'm looking at, the person that holds the camera, that's what I'm talking about. Big shout out to Mr. Jim. See this camera, this one, the person behind this camera. Big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to the crew, the makeup crew, everybody. Big shout out to my manager. Big shout out to my son in the Lord who is Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. Don't go yet. I have a gift for you right now.